Hello and welcome back to another day on the island hidden in the fog. We have an open plot, so today we're gonna try and fill it. Let's get started. First, I need to grab some Nook Mile tickets. I have managed to get 45, so we have 45 islands that we can search for a villager on. Though I am really hoping it does not take that many tickets to find someone today. Now to the airport we go. Hey Orville, I don't know if you heard, but we're looking for a new neighbor, so I'd appreciate it if you could find me someone like this ticket. Okay, thanks. We are here on the first island, and it's not someone we're going to be taking. At least that was easy. We didn't have to do that much running around. But let's go home so we can find a different island, please. I'm hoping for a non-purple villager. Island number 2. Do we think we're going to have better luck on this one? I'm hoping so. I'm going to grab a few weeds first before we figure out who's on this island. I'm a little scared. Oh no, I see purple already. That was my one requirement, was no purple. Alright, it's the third island. Do we think we've broken away from the purple? I feel like this is going to be a long hunt, but I'm okay with that. Well, it's not purple. Ooh, this one's Pear Island. Oh, and we have a royal lion? I'm the only royalty allowed on this island. Now on to island number 5. No way. Are you kidding me? This has to be a joke. What? Like, Nan? This has to be the quickest Dreamy hunt. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we found her so soon. This was a lot faster than expected. I mean, I did have 45 tickets ready. Well, this is really exciting because now we have enough time to actually do a build for her house while we move her in. I have a decent amount of orchard items, so we can actually make a pretty cute build today. Look at that sold sign. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if that didn't say Nan on it? I'm going to time travel to tomorrow to get her all moved in so we can say hi to our new neighbor, and I also want to see what her house looks like. It's the next day, so let's go say hi. Hi Nan, welcome to the island. I hope your moving in is going great. Your house is very cute, and I can't wait till tomorrow when you'll be running around. Preferably in your brand new orchard and farm that you'll take great care of. This section I have marked out for Nan's orchard and farm actually looks kind of big, but I think it might be a tad small, so I'm gonna scoot this river over real quick. The river is gone, and I think if I just make it more of a straighter river, that should give us plenty of room for what we need to do. I will be giving this river some character since completely straight won't look natural, and I'll need to remove this tree to do that. And I think the river is done. It looks a little funky right now, but I think once we start adding some trees and shrubberies in, it'll look fine. But this is the space we're working with, and I just need to remove these remaining trees, and then we can start decorating. I know we haven't done many builds yet, but I am the most excited for this one so far. The trees are gone, and now it's time to start decorating. I've already decided that I want the orchard in this back section in rows, not columns, but I'm not sure if I want the house on the right side or in front of the orchard. Here is our current map, and to the right of the museum, that's the portion where Nan's orchard and farm is going to be, and it's almost the size of an entire square. I think I want to give Nan her own bridge to her house. I went and grabbed a bridge marker kit and Nan's housing kit. This way we can test out different locations as we're building and pick the best option. This was the only spot I had in mind for the bridge, so I'm so glad it looks really cute. We're gonna go ahead and build it right here. I don't currently have enough bells to pay off this bridge immediately, but there's a good chance by the end of this build with all the time traveling I'm sure we're gonna be doing, we'll get it built. I need to make sure though that I am keeping track of my money trees and making sure that I am planting those every day, otherwise this is going to be a bit more difficult because I don't plan on using any other methods for making bells right now. I just want to build, that's it. I'm going to plan out the orchard first since I know the location that I want it, but I'm not sure on the spacing. I'm going to just dig a bunch of holes and keep playing with it until I find some sort of pattern that looks good. I know this is going to take me a bit of time to do, so I will see when I find a pattern that fits this area. This is what I've come up with. It's nothing special, but I did want initially 2 spaces in between each tree so they didn't look so crowded, but that just unfortunately didn't fit. But now we can start planting the trees, and I want the peaches up front because I find those trees just so cute. I'm also going to try and break up the colors of the fruit since we have quite a few that are on the red-orange scale. So I might end up moving a few trees around just to kind of see what looks best. I also don't have enough adult trees to do this, so we're gonna have to plant some. Hopefully they'll all be grown in by the end of the build. I'm not sure what it is about the orange and cherry trees, but I don't really like the look of them, so I'm gonna be placing those at the very back rows of the orchard. I'm hoping that all the other trees in the orchard will create a nice barrier so you won't actually see the orange or cherry trees that much, and then they won't bother me. And before anyone gets mad at me, this only applies to the in-game trees. I actually really like orange trees and cherry trees in real life. I know we're building this for Nan, but I'm kind of jealous. I want to be living here among all the trees and all the veggies. But no, we need to stick to the plan. This is for Nan and not me. I have other ideas for my house, though I'm not entirely sure if we'll be sticking with them. I wasn't the biggest fan of the orange and cherry trees right next to each other, so I ended up swapping the pears and the cherry trees. I think it looks a lot better like this, though it's a little hard to tell without having all of the trees fully grown. I'll need to go to my house and get the rest of the fruit out of my storage, and then I can come back and start planting them. But I think no matter the order of the fruit trees, this is just gonna look so pretty. I didn't have a whole lot of extra fruit in my storage, so I only grabbed the apples. I like to keep a set of 10 of each fruit in my storage at all times, so I didn't want to dip into those reserves. We'll just shake these trees and plant the fruit that falls from them. I also found some fossils that haven't been appraised yet, so at some point today I'll go to Blathers and get those appraised and most likely sell them to get more bells and pay that bridge off. We are almost done with planting the trees. I am a little skeptical that some of these will actually grow since the trees are quite close together, but we can just start shifting them around if that happens. The trees are done, and we actually have a decent amount of space to put a nice pathing in. After running around a little bit, I think this nook to the right of the orchard would actually be a great place to put Nan's house, and then she even has a small little area to have her own secluded section. I'm thinking like a little tea area where she could either hang out with a friend or just enjoy nature by herself. Now let's create a little bit of a barrier between her house and the orchard by putting in a fence. We won't need that much fencing since the cliff and the river act as a barrier on their own, so I'll really only need this on the front. I wish we were able to add gates to the fencing in the game though. Now it's time to start on the farm, and we'll start first by placing the dirt where we're going to be planting the produce. I'm thinking if we place it right here along this river, we can just say that the river waters all of the produce for us, so Nan actually doesn't have to. And there's still enough room to put a path here in between the fencing that leads all the way to Nan's house and the entrance to the orchard. There's a good chance that this section might change a few times because I'm not entirely sure yet how many of each produce I want here, but for now I think this is a good starting point. I have gone and dug up as much produce as I can from near our entrance, and now we can start planting them. Since this is a bit more of a spooky fall type of island, I want the sugarcane in the back since we are not trying to give any sort of tropical vibes. I don't actually know that much about sugarcane, except I've only ever seen it when I've been on vacation in tropical places, so to me, they're tropical. Let's get some tomatoes in here. I only have 2 plants, so we're gonna need to make a couple more, but that's alright, they're ripe. We'll just pluck these and plant them right next to them. I can tell you right now I will be rearranging the order of this produce. However, I'm gonna save that for a later date because I'm just so excited at getting this all decorated that it really doesn't matter the order of them right now. We can worry about that later just as long as we get everything in here. And we are almost done with this section of the garden. Here's how that's looking right now. And it's finally time for some pumpkins. Since the pumpkins look a little bit different from the rest of the produce, I wanted them to be separate, which is why they're going to be placed near the bridge. And while a pumpkin patch would be very cute, there's just not enough room in this section for one, but maybe later we can make one somewhere else on the island. Oh, I'll also need to write down, unless you can remind me, but I want to also get the beach ball because it has a watermelon variant and also the mum cushions, and we can pretend that they're cauliflower or something. No idea where they'll fit, but that's okay. We can figure that out once we finally get those items. Like I said, I'm sure this will probably change a bunch of times, and that's totally okay. This is a working island after all. I know this is going to take a bit of time, but I'm just so excited to see what this island's gonna look like when it's all done. I'm adding in the final pieces of dirt pathing before we time travel to tomorrow. I'm in love and it's not even finished yet, and I think it's safe to say that Nan is also enjoying her new home location. I imagine this island having a very close-knit community, so we're going to build a little produce stand that's going to run on the honor system. Eventually I'll build a little donation box and we could pretend that's where they drop the money in after they self-pick their own produce. I will also be customizing all of these items at some point. I just want these laid out so I can see where I need to make the pathing before we actually finalize anything. Nan's favorite colors are orange and yellow, so I think that'll be the color theme that we'll stick with for this whole area. And now it's time for the pathing, which always takes me quite some time, so I will see you when I have most, if not all of it done. I've almost finished the pathing, but this is the area I was thinking about putting the little tea area in for Nan. I think the cute furniture set would be the perfect one. And here's the final walkthrough. Hold on. And now here is the final walkthrough. And this is gonna be it for me today. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we continue to work on this island. If you've liked this video or subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you want to know what we're doing next time, we will actually be redoing the entire neighborhood. I came up with a new idea that I actually really enjoy. So I'll see you next time for some redecorating and some demolition. Bye!